I've been taught, and I've learned over the years, that respect is earned. Our Metis people have learned that at their mother's knee. Unfortunately, for my part, the 10 years that I spent residential school, we sort of lost that.
I thought a lot about this, and I thought to myself, where does this abuse come from? Because the abuse usually starts with oneself, the way that he feels that he was treated, and the way that he was brought up, and the way that he was taught. The individual that is the abuser is usually lost the respect for himself. So when a person has lost the respect for himself, he can't respect anybody else.
He abused me by calling me names, insulting me. I always prayed that the next time it's going to be better, he's going to be better.
I didn't even know I was abused, but I felt used. I felt like my kids are just using me. I'm such a kind person, and I like to be nice to people, and they take advantage of that, and they always want money from me.
It just hit me that you got to do something. You can cry, you can scream, but you're not going to change the abuser.
I define elder abuse as any mistreatment of an elder. It could be anywhere from mentally, psychologically, or physically, or financially.
Financial abuse is probably the #1 highest, and it's a very, very silent type of abuse. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. It's urban, rural, any race, any town, any place.
I was very embarrassed. I didn't want the community to know all about this, which is true. I don't go around talking about what they do to me. Towards the end, I was beginning to wonder that I didn't raise my kids like this.
Over the years, I've seen a lot, and I've cried many times, and it made me more determined than ever to bring this awareness to the public, how our elders are being abused and not saying anything.
On First Nations, Aboriginal, Metis communities, they come from that type of background in that community where you looked after your family. But what's happening today is people are just bringing their babies, dropping them off at Grandma and Grandpa's, and Grandma and Grandpa are not going to say no, right? But they don't have the capacity to look after them, they don't have the proper housing, or they could have health issues.
When you are taken away from your own way of life, taken into a different world, taught that your old way of life is gone forever, and then you're there 10, 12 years, you come out, and it's a different world. The abuse that we suffered, not only physical, mental, and spiritual, but they took that part and took it into the communities and taught it to their children. A lot of people think, oh, they're living on a Metis settlement. Oh, these Metis are, they have their own way of life. But they forget that these people were in that residential school with no identity, so took on what they learned there, brought it back into their own communities that was destructive.
We all have to recognize one thing: we have a problem. And once a person can recognize that he has a problem, then, only then can you begin to deal with the situation.
Shame is bad. because you isolate yourself. I isolated myself for 16 years.
I didn't realize that coming forward and telling people my situation, that I would get help instead of being punished. I always thought I'd be punished if I say anything. I didn't want anybody to get into trouble. But in the end, I found out that telling someone about something that's going on that's not right, I could get help, and everything works out that way.
Most of the times that people just want to be heard what's happening in their life, and they want somebody that's willing to listen.
There's so many things that still need to be healed, that we have to work on to bring back what we lost. Rebuilding takes a lot. You need strength, you need determination, you need a vision, but most of all, you also need support of people that recognize who you are.
If you're being abused, the first thing is to talk to somebody about it. Whether that be with a police officer that you confide in, or whether that be your sister, brother, a really good friend, it's really important to talk to somebody about it first, because it'll eat away at you.
I got a while yet to go. I have a lot of healing yet to do. What have I learned? To speak up and be proud. I'm living for me now, no one else.
We got help, and we all got stronger because of it. Telling people what I've been through would help everybody, not only me, but my family. I can finally live and find peace in my heart and my mind. I don't have to live in fear anymore.